On tonight's episode, send in the clowns to the Deputy Prime Minister's office. Business vibes seem a little off. The Minister of Health orders workers to go into a toxic work environment, and it looks like somebody in Hamilton is defying gravity. All that and more in this week's The News. Hello there, kia ora, I'm Paul, and I hope you've done your RSB submission already. This weekend marks the handover of the Deputy Prime Minister role from Winston Peters to David Seymour, seen here introducing you to the term Clown Alley. In a recent interview with RNZ, both reiterated that Christopher Luxon was wrong to call the role largely ceremonial, with Seymour noting it didn't feel ceremonial when he was dealing with the CrowdStrike outage and Chinese warships as acting Prime Minister in the past, and Peters pointing out that Luxon was so inexperienced he wouldn't know how ceremonial the role was. The Prime Minister's office reiterated that they don't expect to see much change between the handover, pointing out, "We're replacing one far-right, misleading, vice-signalling, race-baiting, self-centered, condescending, self-promoting politician for another." Former National Party MP Dame Marilyn Waring, seen here in a place half the current coalition government is scared of because it holds facts, data and evidence, has announced the creation of a People Select Committee to look into pay equity changes which took $13 billion from female-led workforces to pay for landlord tax cuts. Teaming up with a number of female former MPs, they will hold a public select committee, getting public feedback on the changes rushed through under urgency with no public consultation by the coalition just before the budget. Said Waring, "I already took down one annoying, bald, arrogant National Party leader who fiddled with people's retirement savings, and I'll happily do it again." David Seymour, sitting here next to his principals he brings to proposed bills like the RSB, has ruled out working with Labour and Chris Hipkins after the next election. Said Hipkins in response, "That's like fire refusing to work with water because it won't burn down the forest faster." The Clerk of the House has agreed to a shorter period of scrutiny on the controversial Regulatory Standards Bill than would usually apply. Most bills not rushed through by the government trying to avoid public scrutiny get 6 months of select committee hearings, but the RSB will only receive 4 months of this. With what is expected to be another high-profile amount of public submissions, the shortening of the process means again not all submissions may be heard by the committee. Said the chair of the Finance and Expenditure Committee, Cameron Brewer, seen here arguing against criminalising wage theft, "Hey, it's longer than some bills have had. The public should just be happy that there's any type of scrutiny at all." For the third month in a row, business confidence has dropped, according to the most recent ANZ Business Vibe survey. The survey found that surveyed businesses have reduced activity because, the vibes have been off. But the survey was done before the government's budget, which sprayed a fire hose of money at big businesses. So maybe the vibes have changed. Either way, reporting on business vibes seems to be a continuing trend, like it's real news. Minister of Health Simeon Brown, seen here wondering why he keeps being followed around by a 7-foot-tall skeleton in a black robe carrying a scythe, has ordered Te Whatu Ora to reverse a decision to stop posting on the alt-right swarmed platform X after they decided to move to Blue Sky as an alternative communication method. Since Elon Musk's takeover of the platform, the rise of disinformation and the vitriol of the far right has made it an unsafe online space for many. And for Government Health Organisation, it's become a lightning rod of angry reckons and rants from people whose fifth form science course somehow make them better at medicine than the organisation. Said a spokesperson for X, "Wait, the minister didn't call us Twitter? Since he's the one holding up trans-affirming care guidelines and voted against conversion therapy bans, we just figured he'd try and dead-name us." David Seymour, seen here showing why he doesn't like being asked tough questions, received a grilling in Kirikiriroa Hamilton this week as a guest of the Waikato Chamber of Commerce over his decision to put a handbrake on the proposed Waikato Medical School. In the city, the medical school is seen as a popular plan to help bolster the number of doctors in the country, while ACT maintains they need a full cost-benefit analysis before allowing it to proceed. Said Chamber President Don Good, "Our university courses have been cut, they've increased charges, they've closed down departments to make this happen. Surely hacking and slashing at things, putting people last and hoping to get better results would have spoken to this minister on some level." The government has revealed plans to slim down the expansion of the Whakatu Nelson Hospital. The original plan, signed off under the previous Labour government, would have seen an additional 92 beds added to the hospital's capacity, along with a new acute services building, 8 operating theatres and a larger emergency department, designed to exceed minimum growth expectations to future-proof the location for the next 50 years. Which Health Minister Simeon Brown, seen here still trying to process the movie Inception 15 years after it came out, has announced will no longer be going ahead. Instead, the hospital will get no new operating theatres and half the amount of new beds. Said the minister, look, it's just a hospital. It's not like they're tobacco companies who really need our help. Severe weather hit Kirikiriroa Hamilton on Thursday night as a tornado hit parts of the suburb of Norton, knocking down fences, bringing down trees, and sending a trampoline into power lines, which caused widespread power cuts. Fortunately, it seems no one was hurt. Said Hamilton Mayor Paula Southgate, seen here having time travelled to ancient Egypt because building time machines is actually part of the secretive work that's done at the University of Waikato. Yes, it's true. Our airport will soon be starting flights again to Australia, but a Wizard of Oz reenactment was not how we intended to promote that. And finally, to commemorate the end of Winston Peters' term as Deputy Prime Minister, seen here smoking on the smoke-free Otago University campus, unlike our friends in mainstream media who have been fawning all over Peters with his greatest hits compilations and career retrospectives, we'll just be taking a look at this really cute puppy for a few seconds, because the amount of hate, vitriol, and bigotry he's helped normalise and pump into the country since he started flirting with dangerous conspiracy theorists and cookers doesn't warrant his ideas being idolised and everybody else celebrating him while he's still in Parliament. Right, and that's this week's news. Once again, thank you very much for the support this week. Make sure you look after yourselves, live long, prosper, be one with the Force, and we'll catch you all next time. Hey, thanks for checking out today's video. Make sure you like, share, subscribe so you get more updates as we go along and deal with these guys for the rest of the year.